Well, so for a while now, I've been pretty much not going after, but criticizing pretty heavily a lot of right wing or conservative talk, politicians or people that host podcasts or news shows. And it's easy to think, well, why are you going after them? These people are on our side and not saving this energy for liberals and leftists. Well, I think I could do both, but pretty much the way I see it is most of these conservative people are refusing to go after the root cause of a problem and prefer to just attack these issues at their most ridiculous. So, say, for example, this trans movement, it's very easy to explain why it's so messed up and why it's wrong and make a legit case against it, but they are too afraid to address the problems that led up to it. And as far as I know, if you're not willing to look at the source, then what use are you really? So, I mean, I was thinking about that because I saw this, and this is just, yeah. So the situation here is this Riley Gaines is this woman swimmer who was in a competition and got her and everyone else, all the other women, got destroyed by a man pretending to be a woman, and she's speaking up about it now. And so this is what happened to her when she went to speak at, I don't know where it is. It might have been a college or something, but so this is what happened. This is how these people responded to her presence. Pleasant people, right? Like, this is how. So, I mean, there's this. Apparently, they also held her hostage there. Pretty much, she was barricaded in a room. They wouldn't let her get out. And then there's also the shooting that happened, and a couple other instances really recently. And you're wondering where did this come from? I mean, this was unheard of 10 years ago, but the seeds were there. The seeds were planted. This was going to explode eventually. I mean, it was only a matter of time. But why? Well, the obvious answer, first of all, is the removal from God from everything in society here. It's when the secular organizations, the governments, whatever, when they try to implement a law, people will follow that. But if they legalize something, a lot of these people, even though it's legal and against God's law, it doesn't matter to these people because they don't believe in God or want to follow God's law. So that's open for them to do whatever they want. For us as Catholics, if you're not a Catholic, you could be another religion, and there are certain laws and boundaries that you don't cross, even if the secular government says you can. So that's just built into us automatically. But aside from that part, this is what happens when long time ago, you start telling people, doesn't matter if you have children, when you get married, that's whatever. You're in this relationship for yourselves first. You know, you be selfish, whatever you want. Don't worry about having children. So once you de-incentivize that part of it, then you start desensitizing people from feeling that that is an important part of procreating or just, the marital act. And so people start saying, all right, well, maybe I could start, sleeping around with whoever I want. I don't even have to be married now. That's that's another part of that's just going to hurt society as a whole. What leads from that? Well, people start having babies out of wedlock, and they don't want them. So what do they do with them? Oh, well, let's have abortion now. All right, and also let's make contraception. Let's make sure we can maximize this new commodity as much as we can without the repercussions of having to take care of a child, heaven forbid. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, let's do that too. So then you've got people constantly committing these sinful acts that, if you're Catholic, is wrong. But if you're not, the country not only allows it to be legal, but you never hear anything about it now that it's wrong. Every now and then you might hear something, but for the most part, that's just a normal part of society, normal part of life now. And this whole trans thing didn't just start out of thin air. It started because now there's gay rights, there's the right to same sex marriage. Right, by the way. And why is that? It's because there is just no boundaries anymore within sex, within just, the act, whether you're married or not, it doesn't matter now. So, I mean, just everything is up for grabs. So, if you're being honest with yourself, every the I think the lack of respect for the thing of getting married first, then doing it, then and having children and not killing your children. Without that, everything went downhill from there. And that's what leads to this. So if you're a conservative speaker and this is your hill, but none of the stuff before that, I I can't take you seriously because you don't want to see what the root of the problem is. We can ultimately win this battle against this trans movement for now, but we're still ultimately just losing the war, constantly losing the war, and more things will just keep coming back. It's never going to stop. So if you're not addressing that part of it, I can't take you seriously. Just can't. You need to start manning up and realizing that there has to be something. There have to be penalties, repercussions against these sinful acts, selfish acts, where people can just be promiscuous and do whatever they want because it's whatever this is that we have now, just going to keep coming back. So unless you stand up and start demanding that laws be put into place against it, at least some kind of penalty for it, then this is never going to stop. And you're not doing anything about it. So, yeah, had to get that off my chest. This stuff is messed up, and it's not going to go away until we address this the situations that arose before it that led to it. So, I mean, this wasn't the most happy topic I wanted to talk about on Holy Saturday, but well, there it is. So, have a happy Easter and God bless.